Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Fantastic Five, the show where we set the world straight on the correct order to put 5 things. This week, we're taking a look at the best fire-based heroes in the world of comics. When man first discovered fire, it must have been completely terrifying, so it stands to reason that the first caveman that learned to exert even the smallest amount of control over it would have seemed as superhuman to the other cavemen as a guy that could leap over a tall building would seem to a modern man. So it makes sense that comic creators would try to confront that primal fear by making up characters that say, hey look, fire can be good. Or maybe artists just like drawing flames. In fact, there are so many fire heroes that no 2 entries on our list have the same kind of firepower. Let's start the countdown. Number 5, Fire. This one's a no-brainer because her name is in the title, but what you may not have known is that Beatriz da Costa started her costume career as the Green Fury, which doesn't immediately make you think her powers are going to be fire-related, and it definitely gives you no warning that she's going to start shooting magic green fire out of her nose. She changed it to the Green Flame, which is a little better, but it wasn't until she became best friends with Ice and shortened her name to Fire that things really picked up. And when the alien race known as the Dominators detonated a gene bomb that gave her the greatly increased powers of being a naked flying lady made of green flames, that she was really in business. Number 4, Sunfire. Comic characters aren't known for having great lives, but even for a superhero, Sunfire has had it pretty rough. After his mother was exposed to radiation from the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima in World War II, Shiro Yoshida was born with the mutant power to absorb solar radiation and turn it into superheated plasma that he could use to fly and blast things and set stuff on fire. Sure, it's neat to have superpowers, but after his mom died from radiation poisoning when he was a kid, it left him pretty angry in general and pretty sour on the US in particular. However, in spite of his brief forays into the dark side, more often than not, he's fought his demons and proven himself a hero with both the X-Men and the Avengers. Number 3, Firestar. The first and only character on our list that got her start on a cartoon. Firestar was originally created for Spider-Man and his amazing friends. When the producers wanted a fire hero to complement Iceman, but couldn't get the rights to established hot-headed spider friend Johnny Storm, they were forced to get creative and make up an all-new hero. One that looked suspiciously like Mary Jane Watson cosplaying as a banana. But from those humble Hollywood beginnings, Angelica Jones would take her ability to absorb and convert the ambient electromagnetic microwave radiation all around us into fantastic fiery powers and fight for the forces of good as a member of the X-Men, the Avengers, and most famously, as one of the founders of the New Warriors. Number 2, Firestorm. There have been a couple of different versions/variations of this character over the years, and I enjoy them all. But whichever one you pick as your personal favorite, what makes Firestorm so great is what's at the heart of the idea of the character. And the basic core of the concept is that you take 2 people who are very different, smash them into a single super powerful nuclear reactor body and say, okay, now work together to be a hero. That's the kind of simple but potent superhero filtered metaphor that works for kids and adults to make the point that we can accomplish more when we work together than we can alone. Plus, there's not much that looks as badass as a dude who is totally chill about the fact that his head is on fire. And number 1, the Human Torch. Come on, you had to know who was going to be at the top of the list. I'll give all due props to the original android Human Torch that was Marvel's first superhero, but if there can only be one guy on fire with the title of Human Torch, we all know who that name makes us think of, and that's Johnny Storm. The guy has seen and done it all, and it was his popularity, along with the rest of the Fantastic Four, that was responsible for the birth of the Marvel Comics universe as we know it. Even before he had superpowers, Johnny was the kind of teenager that said, even though I have no training or reason to be there, of course I'll go for an illegal trip into space in your boyfriend's untested experimental rocket ship, Sue. Some might say that's because he has a death wish, but I choose to believe it's because Johnny knows a wild time when he sees it. Even without the powers, Johnny is the kind of guy that for whom the Human Torch would still be a perfect nickname. Thanks for watching this episode of Fantastic Five. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Comics Alliance, and check out comicsalliance.com for more comics awesomeness.